Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Goblin starting rosters. So we are doing a series where we're looking at what you can buy for 1 million if you're planning on playing League with Blood Bowl 2020. So as you should know by now, the rosters have changed. Some things have got slightly more, some things have got slightly less, and obviously everybody's got a passing stat. What we're going to do is we're not going to look at league development, we're not going to look at what skills to take, but we are going to look at what you can buy if you're starting out in a league and you want to play Goblins. And the reason we're doing Goblins now is because so many people asked for it, we've moved it right to the queue, right to the top of the queue. Okay, so the key changes to the Goblin roster, they haven't actually changed up that much, which is really good because the Goblins were not a problem in any way, shape or form. Bombers got 5k more expensive. Pogoers also got 5k more expensive, so that's 45k now for the Bombers and 75k for the Pogos. Hooligans, however, got a complete rewrite. So before they were a fan favourite machine. Now they've got a little bit of a tweak and they are 65k, movement 6, strength 2, agility 3+. Passing 6+, not the worst thing in the world, armor 8+, and they come with Dirty Player, Disturbing Presence, Dodge, Right Stuff, and Stunty. So they are Goblins, but they come for 25k more with Dirty Player and Disturbing Presence. Could be useful for defense. Dirty Player is obviously very Goblin, so having that Dirty Player positional now opens up a little bit of what you can do with a Goblin team. It is very, very thematic. However, Goblins are expensive for a stunty team. You've got to take the 2 Trolls most of the time. That's 230k. And then the Hooligan coming in at 65k competes with the Fanatic at 70, the Pogo at 75, and the Diver at 60, and your rerolls at 60 as well. So the Hooligan I still think is not going to be top tier choice, and in fact I think we've only got it in one of our lists today. But it's good that they've changed it up, and I think when it comes to tournaments, when you get access to slightly more money, or in your league, when you get a little bit more cash, it will be very useful. However, taking the Hooligan at the start costs you another Goblin, and it's not worth 2 Goblins. Talking of lists, let's move on to our first one. And we've gone with the no bribe list here, so Goblins still get half price bribes, but if you want to take everything, you can't necessarily afford them. So let's have a look. So we've got 2 Trolls, that's 230k, 1 Pogo and 1 Diver. So that's your ball carrying team really. You've got the Diver for throw teammate, you've got Pogo to maneuver on its own. It's got the Pogo stick skill, which means it's leaping everywhere on a 3+, but can still be thrown. So either one of those makes a great stretch play for a throw teammate. Now throw teammate essentially got 1 harder to land, but that's why the Diver is so important. You get Fanatic and a Chainsaw in this build, and 8 Goblins and 3 rerolls. So that takes us to 995,000. So it leaves you no gold left over. But what it does do is it gives you 2 Trolls, so 1, 2, 3, 4 Goblins for the Pogo and the Diver, and then 8 more Goblins. So you've got a standard team of 12 plus 2 secret weapons. So while you've got no bribes, realistically, you should be able to get 2 drives where you've got all 11 players, including one of your secret weapons at a time. So offense, defense, it's up to you whether you run the Fanatic or the Chainsaw, and you can just chuck both in at once, and if you have a really bad half, it will hurt you. But this roster gives you the opportunity to do everything Goblins want to do. They want to cut people up, they want to smash people with a Fanatic. There's a Pogo, there's Diver, there's Throw Teammate, you've got Trolls. This roster will give you the full Goblin experience, I think, at the start of a league. But if you really like bribes and you really like secret weapons, then you can do a list that I think you will enjoy. All secrets is what we're calling this one. It's 2 Trolls, a Bomber, a Fanatic, a Chainsaw. So all 3 of your secret weapons. Plus it comes with 8 Goblins and 3 rerolls. That takes you to 10 normal players with 3 secret weapons. So you will have to deploy your secret weapons all of the time. You'll have to have at least one on the pitch. It takes you to 885, so it gives you 115k left over. Now we want to save that for 2 bribes, so you can keep those so you can keep those weapons on the pitch a little bit longer. The Bomber gives you an option at just harassing on defense. It is probably the worst secret weapon without an upgrade. But what this roster does allow you to do is it means you can get that bomber, the fanatic and the chainsaw. You can get them to their first skill up easier, or at least quicker. The earlier you buy them, the quicker they level up. So bomber can get Hail Mary Pass, the fanatic can get Mighty Blow, and the chainsaw can get dodge. So as far as those go, you do want them to level up. Trolls, again, the sooner you do that, the sooner you get strong arm or guard. You know, you can develop those guys. So the earlier you get them running, the quicker they will sprint. Now, I know I get accused of a lot of troll hate on this channel and on the podcast, and it's not troll hate, it's just they're not the best they're not the best big guy. So you can drop one. I don't necessarily recommend it. Having 2 strength 5 armor 9 regenerate guys on the line or available to play defense with or offense with, it allows such a punch for a goblin team. Any team that has 2 trolls has to be taken seriously from a you could murder me kind of point of view, especially when it comes to goblins where there's loads of them to foul and you've got secret weapons, so chainsaw and the ball and chain can do some serious damage as well. If you want to drop a troll, however, it does give you 115k to spend on other stuff. So let's look at what you can get with this roster. You get the troll, 1 pogo, 1 diver, so that's your ball carrying squad right there. Fanatic, bomber, chainsaw, that's your secret weapon squad as well. You get 8 goblins, 3 rerolls, and that does leave you enough to take the hooligan, because that takes you to 905. Taking the hooligan puts you at 970, and what this does is this gives you everything goblins have to offer. You get secret weapons, you get the stuff for throw teammate, ball carrying, leaping, you get disturbing presence on the defense to just on the defense to offend your opponent. So if you want to go with everything, Troll Solo will do it. I personally recommend probably one of the other 2 rosters. The first one is probably the more all-round, but if you want to have carnage with secret weapons, then you can do it, and it's not a bad build. The thing that hurts goblins in 2020 is the star player assortment. Let's have a look at that now. Okay, so what I mean by that is you used to have the cheap stars. So you used to be able to ride the inducement train. So you'd want to keep your TV down to 800 or so that you can get a couple of bribes and then one of the star players. So you could pick up the second chainsaw. You could pick up Fungus the Loon, who was the Mighty Blow movement for ball and chain. They are gone for now, as is Ripper. So your normal arsenal of star players, or the normal inducement arsenal that goblins had available to them, has taken a bit of a hit. The star players they now have access to are the Black Gobbo, which gives you a second foul action, Glart Smash Rip if you want some big strength claw, Gracken Crumbleberry, I know I talk about it a lot in these rosters because he can be taken by everybody, or they can, gives you that kick teammate option, gives you another strength 5 player and gives you 2 bodies. It's definitely up there. Hack Phlegm is your strength 3 gutter runner, which goblins can now take for 180k. That's not bad shooting for, and I think that's what we'll see in a lot of tournament builds. Helmet Wolf is your chainsaw star player for 140k. That's an expensive way to get a second chainsaw. Morgan Thorg at 340, and you can take Varag Ghoul Chewer for more strength at 280. But as you can see here, there's nothing that competes with 2 bribes for 100k. So when you start out at a league, I think it's better for you to have more players than to keep your TV low. Other teams are going to escalate quicker than yours. Okay, trolls are going to take some time to level up. The secret weapons are going to take some time to get the level ups, which means their TV is going to stay the same. Other teams are going to probably progress a bit quicker. With your line goblins, you don't really want to level them up. Now you can take a random skill on 3 SPP. It will benefit some of your other players, but it doesn't necessarily help the goblin team. It used to be the case of goblin levels up, you roll. If you get a stat or you get a double, you keep him. If you don't, you get him gone. I wouldn't worry too much about this these days. You can now just save those SPP for your goblins. So you can just build up to 18 SPP, take a gamble on a strength, on a stat up, and then build your goblin without having to fire and replace. So what I see goblins doing is just slow brewing with the same roster, building up those positionals, and that's why I recommend starting with those positionals as early as you can, because your positionals are going to get exciting, and you're not going to be able to rely on inducements the same way you used to. Anyway, that's probably enough rambling about goblins for now. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think you found a better goblin roster, that would be amazing as well. That would be lovely to hear. We moved goblins right to the top of the list because everybody was shouting that they wanted to see the goblin roster. So let us know below what you thought and who you want to see next, and we will get them to you as soon as we can. But for now, thanks very much for watching, and we will catch you again soon.